Okay, welcome to the 1000 GM player profile on Joshua Altman, Candidate Master Joshua Altman, who will be seeking some IM and GM norms. And welcome, Joshua. How does it feel to be here?
Feels great. I'm excited. This is my first time doing one of these interviews, so I'm really excited.
Excellent. So we'll be the first ones getting you on tape and getting a historical perspective of your life. But first, let's start with some questions from the organizer from 1000 GM. They want to know first, what do you understand of the mission of 1000 GM?
I understand that they want to create a thousand grandmasters in the U.S.
Yeah.
And to kind of promote promote talent in America, promote young talent, help them to get IM, GM norms, and to reach them to the get them to the next level. So the U.S. can be very competitive on a global scale.
Awesome. And what will that mean for you? Say you're able to get a norm or even get your all three norms and get an IM title or a GM title. What is that going to mean for your life?
I don't. I mean, it'll mean a ton. I've been playing chess get like 11, 12 years now, and I don't really think too much in the long term, but I always as a kid I was coached by an IM, and I played with lots of IMs as a young kid. So to get that title and then to potentially get a grandmaster title would just be incredible.
Great. Have you played any other norm events yet?
I have not. This is my first one.
Oh, wow. This will be your first one ever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my
Wow.
first I've played in tournaments where you can get a norm, but the first like round robin
Right.
style tournament.
Right. Yeah. First round robin style where you can prep for your opponent. Um, that's excellent. So then, how much money are you going to spend playing the 1000 GM tournament?
I think zero is I think free, right? Yeah.
Yeah, zero. And if you have to go play elsewhere, let's just say the open. Since you haven't played any norm tournaments before, the open tournaments. How much have you spent just like traveling to the open tournaments and playing like those big events?
I mean, it's chess is expensive. I just went to the Philly International. We have to get there. We took the train, so we have to pay for the train, then pay for the hotel, pay for food, which I think food might actually be the most one of the most expensive things. But
Yeah, that's
hotel,
right.
food, bring your own stuff. So it's very expensive, and then entry fee, of course, too.
Yeah, yeah. So it can add up to thousands of dollars, right? Um, and what do you expect of this event? Is there anything that you expect of playing it?
I expect to get. I've looked at the people who are playing, so I'm one of the I think second lowest rated. So lots of strong competition, great players, lots of sharp opening because people have lots of time to prepare. So there'll be a lot of I'm sure a lot of blitzing out moves to start.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but overall just really strong competition, great games, and a great chance to become a better player.
And where do you live now? You're gonna have to travel to LA, right?
I think I'm in DC,
Okay.
and
Uh,
it's in St. Louis, right?
I'm sorry. You're doing the St. Louis event. That's great with
Yeah.
Grandmaster Akobian organizing that one, and so you're gonna travel to St. Louis. Well, you're in DC. Are you in DC for school or is that where you
No,
live?
DC, yeah, DC permanently.
Oh, permanently. Okay, that's great. And you live at home still or?
Yeah, so I go to college next. So I just graduated high school, so I go to
Wow.
college next year.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you're one of the youngest players to play these events, so that's fantastic. Um, so when you go to St. Louis, what do you expect from the lodgings? Like, do you have a roommate? Do you know where you're gonna stay there?
Yeah, there's this Marriott chain hotel. I
Mm.
think it's called the A, and it worked out great because we have Marriott points. So we
Oh,
just use
fantastic.
so we just use the Marriott points on the on the hotel, and it looks great, and it looks like it's pretty close to the tournament venue.
Yeah, and you're traveling with your family.
My mom, yeah.
Your mom, okay. And then I'm guessing at some point you're going to travel by yourself. When you do that, will you want to stay with like friends, or will you want to have your own hotel room?
Probably my own hotel room. Funny enough, I don't really have too many, I guess, close friends in
Oh,
the
in the
chess
chess
world.
world.
Yeah, who I'd stay with. Maybe if I'm lucky, maybe I have family or family friends in the area who I can stay with.
Yeah,
But I'll probably just otherwise I'll just kind of have a room by myself in the
right.
hotel.
That's an interesting point. That if you don't have many chess friends in the chess world, do you expect to make friends at this 1,000 GM event?
I from my experience in tournaments, there's not a lot of, since chess is kind of an individual event aside from things like Olympiad and
Yeah,
stuff like that, it's kind of, you don't really, I don't find that you, at least from my experience, that you really socialize too much. You kind of go in and play, and then at the end you might analyze the game with the person, but that
right.
doesn't happen, I feel like, too often.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I'll get to maybe know some people, but maybe potentially develop a friendship, but that's not like my expectation going there.
Okay, so you're focused.
Yeah, focus. Yeah, focus. But it'd be great. It's always nice to socialize with other chess players.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up the 1,000 GM questions with a hard one. You may not even know the answer because you're quite young, but do you think that there's any sort of discrimination in chess toward financially privileged players, like players that have enough money to play these events? Do you have any opinion on that,
Like discrimination towards
or just
finance.
in general in the set system? Like, do players with more money have better access to these events? It's okay if you don't know the answer to that.
I think definitely, yeah. I would say especially to norm tournaments. I mean, it can be, I think it's like $800 if you're just, you're a norm seeker. I mean,
Hmm.
plus you're paying for your own travel, transportation, food. So definitely, I mean, these tournaments are incredibly expensive. So
Yeah.
so definitely. And their chess tournaments aren't, I'd say, very financially accessible in general, at least the mainstream ones, like, the continental chess tournaments. It's really incredibly expensive and incredibly, it's just really expensive. So yeah, I'd say definitely.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. I know that you're young and you really haven't played that many events, but you seem like you have a good perspective on it. All right, let's transition to how you started playing chess. Take me back to maybe where you're from and what got you into chess originally.
So I'm American. My parents are American, but I moved to England at age 5
Oh,
for my parents' work. And
whoa.
so that's when I started playing chess in England, which is why my FIDE federation is England.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I'm not actually English, even though lots of people assume I have a British accent if they play me and see my federation.
Right.
And then at my school they had a chess club and a great coach. And so I joined the chess club, got really into it. And then the coach had a like a weekend program where he would go and then, teach kids. So I got really into it from there. And then I
What
started
age did you start that?
6.
6. Okay, awesome.
And then so I
And
got really into it. Oh
shout
yeah.
out your coach too.
JP Wallace was the original guy who did those programs
Great.
back in, back in England. And then I remember, and then after that, and then I started playing scholastic tournaments locally. And then eventually I reached a level where I was able to join the English youth team and then get the opportunity to travel to play in like the world youth,
Great.
European youth, world schools, things like that, which was really great. And then I had some great coaches along the way. Like I am Lauren DaCosta was one of my main coaches. And
Great.
also, so I got to work with great coaches like that and then kind of get a lot better, was
Awesome.
my background in chess.
So I want to zoom in on the joining the national team. So you joined the national team. How did that happen?
So originally, I'm not exactly sure how. I think I think at age 7 or 8, I was one of the best players for my age group in England. So then I kind of qualified to be on the national team.
Yeah, I saw an article when you were 8. You're
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
absolutely tiny.
And when I was 8, then I got to go to Romania to play in the World Schools, which was my first tournament
Oh,
for like I think
awesome.
the under 8 age group. And I played some more like the European youth and world youth, I think later in that year with
Great.
the team.
Great. And what was your best win? Like your best tournament win?
My best tournament was in the European youth at round 9. I was black against Vincent Kamer,
Oh,
and
wow.
actually like 9 moves in, I was the King's Indian, and I just like he got an opening trick, and I blundered my knight just right out of the opening. But then somehow I came back and ended up winning the game,
Oh,
and then
wow.
because I won the game, I got the bronze medal. I got the bronze medal in the tournament, which was pretty cool. That's
That's
probably
awesome.
Although it wasn't my best game, probably my best achievement in chess.
Was Keimer a GM then, or was he just your age group as well?
No, we were under 8, so I think he was like maybe 17, 20 rated, I think.
Okay, okay. Wow, you played him really, really young. That's
Yes.
awesome.
I'd never play him again. I'm like I don't I'll take my winning record against him.
Right, right, right. I drew a game against Sevian when he was 2250, so
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take
Yeah. Yeah.
that. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so then you when did you come back to America?
So I came back to America when I was I think 10 or 11. So I
Okay.
was in England for 5 years. And then I kind of when I came back, I think I quit chess for 1 or 2 years. I was kind of done with it. I was like, ugh, I don't really. I've like middle school. I don't feel like doing it. But then but then I got back into it, and then I kind of just started playing, in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, which has been great for chess in tournaments kind of ever
Mhm,
since.
mhm. Awesome. And do you currently have a coach now?
Yeah, I do.
Who's your coach now?
Actually, Var Kobe.
Oh, Kobian is. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So then, so then, how often do you work with the Kobian?
About once a week, about once a week, sometimes once every couple weeks. Yeah, about once a week though.
Just depending on scheduling, right?
Yeah, usually about once a week though.
And what is the main stuff you're working on?
We play a lot of practice games and then analyze them. Lots of puzzles to work on, and like positional play, decision making mainly.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Wait, first though, do you ever beat him in the practice games?
Yes, but he's not like, he's not like,
Trying his hardest, right? Yeah.
no, no, no.
Yeah, he's just testing you, right?
Yeah, he's testing me. He's playing, maybe he's playing, but he's not like really going into
Yeah.
deep calculations
Yeah,
or
he's just playing moves that seem fine. So why do you think that you need to work on your positional chess, right, as opposed to say like your tactical skills or your end games?
say it's mainly I guess also tactical skills, but that we kind of do as well, but
Mm,
mainly just decision making in general, because I guess I've reached the point where kind of I have my opening repertoire.
mm,
I should and could work on end games a lot more,
yeah,
definitely. But I kind of at this point, my main thing that we really want to work on is my kind of decision making over the board, my thought process, how I'm coming up with my like candidate moves, and how I'm making decisions is just a really important thing to reach the next level, because it kind of encompasses so much of the game is you coming up with candidate moves, picking the best option, calculating lines.
yeah, yeah, right. And and what do you think needs to be adjusted in your decision making?
Definitely, I would say time management. I've had issues with time management in the past, so making timely decisions, not over calculating,
Right.
not calculating these. blinds that don't need to be calculated, and making a say and making a I'd say more logical decision making. You apply logic to my moves. Like for example, if my knight's well positioned, why would I try to like reroute it to another square? Just leave the knight there. Don't try to be too, trying to be too fancy, be too kind of creative. Although creativity is good, but usually just, try to play logical.
Yeah, and is GM Jacobian using famous games to do a lot of that, or is it mostly through your games?
Mostly through my games, but also lots of games, more like contemporary games that are played very recently, even as recent as the candidates tournament, things
Oh,
like
that's
that.
great. That's great. All right, so then let's dig a little bit more into your training regiment, especially for this upcoming 1,000 GM event. What are you work? Well, I mean, basically, how much are you working every day, and just kind of walk us through your training schedule.
Yeah, so I have a lot of free time on my hands, so I've been usually I'll wake up, let's say 8 or 9, and then I'll spend most of the morning. Whenever I play, I always like to play a few blitz games, get warmed up. Then I'll do some chess.com tactics, puzzle rush, really to get myself warmed up, and then I'll review the end game book, the 100 end games book,
Oh, great.
because review the open ending games, make sure everything is good, and then after that I'll eat lunch, go outside, do some physical activities, kind of relax a little bit, and then later in the day I'll kind of come back and then really work on specific prep for the tournament. Like I'll review my openings lines that I feel uncomfortable about, and then I'll look at the pairings and then go choose a person to prepare against on chess base and really kind of really delve deep into their game, see what I'm gonna kind of see what's best to play against them.
Great. And so are you delving deep into all the players there?
Yeah, I've so far I think I've done a couple players. It actually takes a surprisingly like long time
Yeah.
to kind of get the games like on the chess base, and then some players don't have too many games. But
Right.
yeah, so far I just started doing that.
Great, great. And I've talked to a lot of players that are actually working professionals. Do you think you have a leg up on those people because you've just had more time in general?
Yeah, I think I do in it. I mean, I can say first because I during school I also played sports after school every day too. So I didn't really do too much chess. I would kind of come home and then maybe play some blitz, which is fine, but that's not really you're not really going to get too better doing blitz. So yeah, I think I do. I think I don't want to get too overconfident that I have this huge leg up. I'm going to be way more prepared, but
Right.
I think I would say that I mean it can't hurt having that much more time. So I think it definitely helps.
Great, great. Yeah, I mean, some of the older players that are working full time, they have more experience as well. So, what do you think is going to matter more? Is their experience going to matter more, or are you going to be able to out prepare them?
I think I think it'll be a mix of I think I think I kind of mentioned decision making earlier. I think the games will come down to decision making because I think with the preparation time, I think we'll get positions out of the maybe relatively balanced, because maybe some imbalances out of the opening, but I think the games will really come down to middle game decision making, and those decisions you make in the positional decisions and tactical decisions you make in the middle game. I think is what the game will really come down to.
Great, great. And when you sit down to play, let's say you're going to play against a GM, do you feel nervous at all for that?
I mean, I used to feel very nervous, especially when I would play a higher rated player. I'd feel, wow, they're so much better than me. But I've kind of got used to playing higher rated players. So I kind of, and as of now, especially because my K factor is 40 still, I kind
Oh
of
wow.
I take it as an opportunity, like, wow, I don't have much to lose. I can gain a lot of I can gain a lot of points here, and it's a good opportunity to get better. If anything, I would get more nervous playing a lower rated player because I have the opportunity to lose a lot more points.
Can you explain K factor just in case anybody in the audience is an amateur and they don't know what that means?
Yeah, so K factor is the multiplier I think that you get on your rating every time you win a game. So for example, if you're under 18 and under 2300 FIDE rating, then your K factor is 40, and as opposed to it being 20 if you're over 18, which is a which is a pretty big deal. You get double the amount of points if you win, but also double the amount of points if you lose, which is why you see a lot of, really young players have very high ratings because, you can play a tournament, have a great tournament, and you can gain 150 points. So it's,
Right.
yeah. So
Nice, nice. What's the most you've ever gained in one tournament?
I think I gained maybe 120, I think.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, although
Uh,
I have lost a lot as well.
yeah, well, everyone has. Right, right. What is the most you've lost?
Maybe I think like maybe 90 something.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah.
So how do you recover from something like that? Like when you lose so badly like that?
I mean, it hurt because in the summer of when I was in ninth grade, I had this great tournament. My FIDE rating went from like or this great summer, and my FIDE rating in that summer went from like 1900 to like 2150.
Hmm.
But then, I didn't study or prep enough to really get up to that level as fast as my rating went up. So I went into tournaments and
Yeah.
lost. I think I lost it all. I kind of lost it all. I kind
Wow.
of back to 1930, and it was pretty difficult, and it took me kind of a while to mentally recover, like looking at your rating and seeing how many points you lost. But then I kind of realized I'm really playing chess to, have fun, do something that I love, and also that's, good for my mind. It's good to do. So then I just thought, I'm just going to come back, play, see what happens. And then after my mentality shifted, I started to gain more points, and also, I do perform better in tournaments.
What's your current rating?
2162 feet.
Great. And that's a big gap between say you and a 2540 GM, 2550 GM. Do you think you have a chance at an IM or a GM norm?
I mean, I think definitely. Yeah, I think, you know, I kind of go into the game with the mentality that, I can win, I can win pretty much, I can win pretty much any game. There's always chances, and also, draws aren't, draws are draws happen quite a lot. There's also a chance that I could draw a game, or, hold a position. So I feel like I definitely have a chance, and that's definitely my goal in the tournament. Although I'd say I'm kind of there to just, get better, play better players, but it's also a really nice add-on that I have the opportunity to you get an IM norm, which would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And what does that mean to you? If you're able to get an IM norm, what would that mean for your life?
I mean, it would mean a lot to me, knowing that, kind of like validating my hard work, my kind of work towards chess, all of the years I've spent, saying that,
Yeah.
wow, you've really reached a level where you got an IM norm, something that you wanted, so you performed at this level. So it would mean a lot. It definitely boost my confidence a lot and make me feel a lot better about myself as a chess player.
Awesome. And you're going to college. What are you studying?
I'm not exactly sure yet, but mostly there's a combined major called philosophy, politics, and economics, which looks great. So I'll probably that's my goal right now. Though, it could vary probably, and it, could very well switch.
So yeah, I mean, part of the question there is how are you going to balance playing chess and going to school?
Yeah, it'll be difficult, and that's something I've had a lot of trouble doing in the past
Hmm.
with school and then sports. So it'll be difficult, and I'll definitely have to figure that out. Although they do have a chess club there, which will be great, so that I can there'll be people who play chess, and I'll have a place to go once a week. So hopefully I'll make good friendships with the people there, and
Yeah,
then, be able to, in my free time, be able to kind of connect with people, and then, find time to study chess in my schedule, which I'll kind of have to figure out as my, I guess, schedule comes full circle. But,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to figure that out, definitely, and hope to, and really find time during my breaks to find tournaments that I can play.
great. So then you also play sports. You said right. What sport do you play?
I play soccer, basketball, and baseball.
Oh, Multi-talented. Wow, that's
I
pretty
mean,
amazing.
I mean,
How tall are you?
5'10" about.
Okay. Okay. Do you expect to play any in college?
Nothing. I'll play like intramural sports, nothing like
Just for
competitive.
fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'll probably play soccer, basketball just for fun, especially basketball. It's probably the easiest sport to just kind of play for fun.
Do you feel that it's important to stay physically fit to perform well in tournaments?
I mean, I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but I would say yeah, I think it's important. I think it can help with your I think it can help with your stamina
Hmm.
in these kind of long tournaments, kind of staying mentally focused. And also there's a connect between team sports and kind of your mentality on the chessboard. I feel like, sports help you become more of a leader, more of an advocate, and I think could help you become maybe be a more confident player over the chessboard.
That's very astute. Yeah, very interesting. What's your which what if you had to choose one of the sports? I guess what's your favorite sport to watch then?
Ooh,
Can you?
right. Basketball or soccer?
Okay.
That's probably soccer. I'd say soccer probably.
Okay, and are you going to root for the U.S. team or the English team?
U.S. team, U.S. team.
I'm just curious. Yeah. Okay. Well, they qualified for the World Cup, so
Yeah.
that will be interesting. All right, let's move on to the rapid fire questions. The questions that I kept secret. They're pretty easy. They're fun. So let's get started with those. Who is your favorite superhero?
Ooh, superhero. Maybe the Flash. The Flash.
Oh, the Flash. I got to follow up. Why the Flash?
I like the comics as a kid, and I think the Flash has to be. I feel like the Flash might be the most powerful. Superman has the super speed too, but the Flash has the flash time, and that I think the Flash has to be the most powerful.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it would be very useful in a blitz game.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
He could make like 20 moves in 1 second.
I just.
You don't even need pre-move. All right. So then, who's your favorite sports star?
I mean, I'm a Sixers fan, so I have to be Joel Embiid.
Oh, okay, Embiid. Okay, that makes sense. Um, if you could have one actor play you in a movie, the movie of your life, what actor would that be?
Ooh,
Tough one if you don't know that many actors, but it can be anybody. It doesn't have to look like you. It could be
huh,
The Rock. It could be anybody.
huh. That's difficult.
Yeah, yeah. This is the hard one.
Maybe Robert Downey Jr. He's
Oh, wow.
he's a pretty good sense of humor. I feel like he would do a good job.
Yeah, he played chess in Sherlock too.
Oh,
There's a scene of him playing against. I think he's playing Moriarty in the scene. Okay, great. What do you do to relax?
I mean, I play video games. I play
Okay.
video games a bit, and then playing sports is really my main way of relaxing. Kind of going outside, playing basketball at the basketball court, or playing
Yeah.
soccer at the
Well,
park.
following up on the video game, what's your favorite video game?
Probably FIFA.
Oh, well, yeah, that
I
makes sense.
I
Yeah.
play I play pretty generic video games. Nothing
Right.
like
FIFA's a soccer game if anybody else doesn't know that. Okay, what's your favorite chess movie or TV show?
searching for Bobby Fischer. Definitely,
Oh, that was quick. You were the fastest out of
yeah,
anybody. Searching.
definitely.
Did that movie inspire you when you were a kid?
Definitely. Also, the actor's name is Josh as well.
All right, it's Josh Wade's
Jo-
kid. Yeah.
yeah, Josh Wade. And it was cool because I lived in New York for a few years as well. So I actually thought I felt like I could relate to the movie a lot with like going to those scholastic tournaments and
Yeah.
then all of that. So I thought it was an amazing movie,
Have
really.
you played a lot of the Hustlers in the Park and stuff like that?
I used to always, whenever I was in New York, I'd always go to Washington Square Park and play. Unfortunately, in DC, not really that
Right.
much
Right.
of a park chess scene, but yeah, whenever I have the opportunity, it's always fun.
Yeah. Never tell them your rating though, because then they won't play you. I
Yeah.
told them my rating when I was in Washington Square. I'm 2,100, and they're like, "It's $5 to play." I'm like, "What? I have to pay you to give you a lesson?" Because they're like 1,800. Anyway, um, one more question. Um, what would you like to say most to your fans?
To my fans.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a small fan club, if not just your family.
I mean, thanks so much. Thanks so much for the support. Even though chess is an individual game, it's so mentally reliant, mentally draining that having fans, people supporting you is just so helpful to boost your morale, especially after a tough loss to get you back on track. It's just so important. So it really does mean so much when there are people there supporting you.
That's great. I appreciate that. Okay, let's switch to Lee Chess, and we will take a look at one of your best games. Give us an intro as soon as you get the screen share on.
Okay. Okay, is everything working?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, so this is actually a game I played in my the last tournament I played a couple weeks ago. I don't really have too many, I would say, great visually appealing games because my games are kind of, very ups and down imbalances, mistakes, and then, eventually I'll, maybe get a win. But this game I felt was pretty clean out of the opening. I got a good position and then had some nice calculation to kind of finish the game off. And it was one of the games where when I put it into the engine, I don't think it ever went into the I was white, so I don't think it ever went into the minuses. I think it kind of stayed plus point two the whole game, which is a rarity. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
so
who did you play, by the way?
I played Shelev Oberoi.
Okay. What's their general level?
Their FIDE was
Okay,
2176.
great. So right about similar level as you.
So I'm white, so I went D4, D5, Queen C4, Queen's Gambit,
Hmm.
and they played the accepted. I saw some of his games and saw that this was one of the things he was going to do. So I made sure that I reviewed this E3 line.
Okay, great.
He's kind of an attacking player, so I felt like let me play something a little more solid, get him out of theory as early as I can, and then kind of just play chess.
This is Karpov's line.
I didn't actually know
Yeah,
that.
Karpov played this a lot.
It's pretty. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah. So then I went bishop c4, e6, and then I kind of went knight f3, just developing all pretty standard. He played a6, which I think is a theory,
Hmm.
and then castles c5. I think this is all still theory. And
Yeah.
I played the d3 move,
Hmm.
which is I don't know if it's the main line, but it's kind of a system that I like to play. I feel like it's pretty comfortable. So he went knight bd7, bishop b2, just developing.
Where did you pick up this system? From Akobian or?
Yeah, he showed it to me, and then I kind of went a little more kind of I went into kind of review. I looked at also the E4 line too, the main line, but then I like this system a lot.
Okay, great.
Bishop E7, knight BD2, castles, and then I played queen. Sometimes your people play an early B5, and then I'll go bishop back to E2. But since he did castles, I just decided I'll develop my queen and then move my bishop back to D3 instead. I felt like was good. Let me just develop my queen, get my rooks in this position. I thought was a good way to develop.
Right.
And so queen E2, so then he played B5. So then bishop back, kind of only move. Bishop B7 developing. And then I played A4, which in this setup is a really important move to put pressure on this B5 pawn. And then also when they push B4, you also get this nice C4 square for the knight, which is important in this line. And so
Right.
he played B4. I didn't really want to jump here immediately to C4. I kind of wanted to get my rooks in the game first. So I played rook D1, rook FD1, putting a line, on the queen. It's a little uncomfortable if you're the opponent and then you see this rook kind of looking at your queen. Your instincts kind of to move it, which is what my opponent did. Queen B8, which I was a little bit surprised by. I thought maybe queen c7, but I guess it makes sense that you kind of want to get your queen out of the lines of these rooks. So then I played rook a c1. He played rook c8, developing. And so now finally, so now I played knight c4 after I developed my rooks, getting my knight into the game. He played this a5 move, probably to stop maybe the weakness of that pawn there. So then I took the opportunity so then I actually just played h3 here. Maybe not the best move positionally, but I kind of liked playing it, kind of a waiting move, asking, my opponent, what are you going to do? Because maybe kind of asking my opponent if you want to take on d4,
Mm-hmm.
which I would have been happy with in this position. So after h3, he played bishop a6, I guess to maybe try to swap the bishops. And so then I took the opportunity to play knight e5, moving my knight to this dangerous e5 square. Maybe
Yeah.
I have knight g5 ideas attacking this pawn. And so that was an accident. But so then he took my bishop, and so then my knight was well placed here, and my rook would be kind of awkward on this d3 square. So I thought, let me just play queen takes. My pieces are well placed. And then he played h6 to stop this knight g5 idea.
Right.
And so then I played knight takes d7, knight takes e7, and then I played d5, opening up my bishop to this really nice diagonal, and then also putting pressure on this pawn, which kind of forces him to take. So then
Right.
he takes knight b6.
And all your pieces are active now.
Yeah, and so I was pretty happy here. My pieces are active. This bishop's really good. This bishop's really good. So I kind of played queen f5. Let me keep my queen in the attack. And so then he played queen c7, trying to, because his queen's kind of out of place here. So maybe trying to get it back in the game.
Yeah.
And then I kind of said, well, my pieces are developed. So let me really start to put some pressure. So I played queen g4, kind of obviously threatening a checkmate.
Yeah.
And he played bishop f8, kind of an only move to defend it. And so then I thought, well, my knight would be really good here, nearly winning the game here. So I thought, let me just play knight h4, get my knight to this target square on f5. So then he played rook d8. And so then I said, well, let me play knight f5. And so this was the line that I calculated.
Is rook d8 a mistake, or is it the best move?
I'm not, I don't, I think it has to be a mistake
Yeah.
because I think after I played knight f5, this position, which I think he might have missed this, which is after g6, I played this move queen h4.
Yeah.
So that
Wow.
with the idea being that if you take, then I get this queen f6 move. And there's really not a good way to stop this. Because let's say you play king h7, I can actually go queen takes f5. You're forced to go back, and then I just bring the queen back to f6. And you can't really stop the checkmate here. You can't, there's no way to block the line between the bishop. Taking on d1 is not going to do anything. And if you move your king here, then I can go queen h8, and then I get this queen g8 move. And if you
Yeah.
move your king here, yeah, then I get queen g4 mate.
Queen g4. Yeah.
Which was a nice idea that, so obviously I was hoping he would take.
Yeah.
But
Of
I think
course.
at this point, the game really is shifted in my favor a lot because I mean it's really uncomfortable to play as black after all of my pieces are
Yeah. The a8 rook is totally out of play, and so is the b6 knight actually.
yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's not, because usually you'd want to play c4 move, but it's pretty slow in this position. You're not really
Totally.
getting anything. My attack is fast.
Yeah. I was wondering if he had c4 earlier, but um,
Yeah, probably. So
maybe we can go look back later.
yeah. So actually, he did play c4.
Oh, he played it now. Okay.
I guess trying to, his position's not, there's not really that much to do for him in this position. So he kind of, yeah, just plays c4, probably to maybe complicate things a little bit. So then I just took on c4 because I can't have him playing c3. Then my
Right.
position would definitely be really bad. So I just took it, eliminate that. So then he played knight takes a4. And then I played rook takes d8 first,
Oh.
which I calculated this line that after rook takes d8, queen takes d8, I have this bishop f6 move,
Right.
which is which is very dangerous, wanting to take on h6.
Is there any difference if you play bishop f6 first?
I think there was in the game. I think I saw a line bishop f6. I think I saw a line where if I play bishop f6, maybe after he gets to take. I'm not actually sure if there's a difference. I feel like there must have been when I played it in the game. I think maybe this is more direct.
You can turn on the engine if you want, real quick,
Sure,
just to
yeah.
check it out.
Maybe so if I play bishop f6 here,
Yeah, let's see what he has.
let's
The
see.
engine is loading, everybody.
Fish.
It's weird. They usually put a number
Yeah, maybe
quicker.
it's on my end, but maybe it's
Rook D1, and then
it might be queen b6 actually. Oh, it might be maybe queen c6. Maybe you have rook d1, and then do you have queen c6?
oh, and that stops you from taking on h6.
Yeah. So that was probably why I probably wanted to.
Something like that. Yeah, I can see that, and then he can't play rook d8 now, or he has
Yeah.
queen d8. You mean you showed that already?
Yeah, so this is more direct,
Yeah,
I thought.
yeah,
So then bishop f6 and then queen b6
yeah.
with the idea that now I can't take on h6 because take, get the bishop. So I moved the bishop back, defending it and attacking the queen. And then he played g5, which is a nice try, hoping that if I take the queen,
Oh
he
yeah,
takes.
and so the difference was there. If queen c6, you can't attack the queen on c6. In the other, in the
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Then he played g5, which is a good try, trying to protecting this pawn, also attacking my queen. But then so now the engine loads.
You can turn it
But
off now. Don't worry about
yeah.
it.
And now I played queen e4, defending the queen, and then now attacking the rook.
Right,
And
winning
so
time
then he,
though.
yeah, winning it, yeah, exactly. And then queen b8, and then queen c6, attacking this knight, also
Oh
attacking
wow,
one.
everything's falling apart for him.
Yeah, so then he tries knight c3, which is also another good try, trying to play knight e2 and then take this really good bishop.
Oh right.
I don't even know if I had to do this, but just to play kind of prophylactically, not allow any counterattacks, I just took the knight.
Oh yeah, because everything's falling apart for his king.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't. The rook's not even doing anything, so I can just give it up. So then he took, and then I played a queen f6.
Oh wow.
So then he is in queen b1, just maybe trying to prolong the game a little bit. King h2.
Yeah, but it's over now.
Yeah, bishop d6, and I just play 4, just blocking it.
Yeah.
And then bishop f4, he takes, and then yeah, he resigned here because there's a. I mean, in a chess.com game, I probably would have even pre-moved queen h8. So
Yeah, he can't do anything here. That's a very nice game. Do you think that the the reason why you didn't make any mistakes in this game is because you played such a comfortable system where it didn't seem like you went for really that much in the opening, but you just developed your pieces and then basically let your opponent go wrong, right? He just made inaccuracy after inaccuracy, right?
yeah, so that it helped that. Yeah, because out of the opening, I mean, I don't necessarily gain that much of an advantage,
Right.
but this position I felt it was really comfortable, and I kind of
Mm-hmm.
it's very helpful in an opening where you know where you're going, you know what your plan is. It's pretty simple. Like my plan, I want to play this a4 move. I want to develop my rooks. A4. I want to develop my rooks. I want to go rook here. I want to bring my rook here, and I want to go here and here. So I have my plan set, and it was really on my opponent to find a plan for them, which is it's kind of difficult to find a plan from the black side of this opening, which is why I played it. It's kind of,
Yeah.
what do you do? Do you go rook here? Do you like go queen here? I mean, it's kind of difficult to find a plan. So I just kind of,
Well,
you
I
know,
mean, frankly, they need to have a plan before a4, I think. Because
Yeah,
this
'cause
position is so comfortable for white already once you get a4 in. I mean, I don't know the theory here at all, so I'm just thinking, but
perhaps an early b5 is better.
it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, that would be my assumption. But maybe I think this is probably fine as well. But yeah, but now I kind of after I get this rook d1
Yeah,
move.
there's a difference between being fine and easy to play, right? It
Yeah,
might
yeah,
be
there's
fine for black
yeah.
theoretically, but if you don't know how to play it, then you're going to play it wrong.
Yeah, difference between like the practicality of the game and then looking
Yeah,
at an and seeing equal position. Yeah.
right, right. All right. Well, I think that's pretty good for now. I think we're hitting about the 45-minute mark right now, so we should wind down. But I'm sorry we can't get to your favorite historical game. Unshare your screen, and then you can share it with us. You know what that game was. Maybe the audience can look it up.
Yeah, so the game was the Polymorphia opera game.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty famous game. My old coach showed it to me as a little kid, and obviously really attracted to like queen sacrifices,
Yeah.
tactics, stuff like that. His tactical play in that game really excited me, and it's probably still my favorite game to this day.
No, that's great. Well, I love to hear that because everybody should know the opera game. It's one of the best games in all of history, and just a beautiful illustration of material versus development, right?
Yeah.
In showing how material doesn't matter and development is super important. I actually show my students that game like on a weekly basis. No, I mean when I get new students actually. The old ones, you know, they pretty much know that one by heart. But thank you, Joshua, for sharing your development and your excitement for the game of chess. We appreciate that at 1000 GM. Before we go, tell us what you're going to do to get ready for the 1000 GM event in St. Louis.
Definitely keep my routine. I feel like routine is in anything is really important, keeping your same schedule. So I'll continue to do my warm up. I'll continue to do, my warm up that I mentioned earlier, play practice games, prep for my opponents, prep my openings, make sure I really have all of the fundamental end games really down for the tournament and just, continue to play every day, practice and practice.
Great. And do you think you're going to beat a GM?
I don't know if there is a GM in my section. I don't know if there
Okay.
is. I know there are a few IMs.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see. I'm just gonna go into, take it game by game, play my best, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Joshua. I wish you good luck, and I hope you have the best event and that you can learn a lot from the games and hopefully get a norm.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.